under the BD Act because they was trying to say y'all renegade BDs.
I ain't gonna lie, I don't get no
cracking trays so hard
no,
to
BD.
Big BD cracking trays. Hold up too hot though.
Don't get no BD.
So y'all generation don't go by nations no more like the older guys did.
Hell no. Get no. What everybody gotta say too. Anybody gotta say something.
I feel like nowadays everybody be under the EBK Act now.
Hell yeah.
Doing that BD, all that BD. No, like we OBlock gang.
You and Mimo kind of had some issues on the internet not too long ago. Mimo tells Munna Duke he's putting belt to ass when he catch him.
He ain't never put a belt to ass in no motherfucker day in his life. I don't really take people like that serious, man. You gotta know him, man. You know what I'm saying? Motherfucker like me that been around, that I know every motherfucker. And a motherfucker like him, I can't take serious. You know what I'm saying? He can't step a foot on my block. He would never step a foot on my block.
Mimo used to be really cool right there because I think he shot at least one video there before, right?
Yeah, that was before a lot of shit transpired. You get what I'm saying? So at once upon a time he was able to come over there. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of shit changed. So.
You still with
You went and got him and I checked his ass too on Lusty and nigga.
Anytime a nigga speak on my people, I'm bringing them in the room.
And got their ass treated on Steve.
You muted your mic, you bitch ass.
Merch, I muted up, y'all.
My kids, your ass ain't say nothing.
Now y'all merch, I muted up. Merch out,
let's send this bitch up.
Merch out, muted up.
What y'all talking?
Why you mute your mic?
Go get him again. You gonna get his ass treated again.
Let's send this bitch up, bro.
Hey, stop playing with me, motherfucker. On your block. On my kids, I go spend night on your block.
No, don't do that, Lotto. Please don't, bro. We ain't
pull up.
Don't know motherfucker hang on this block.
Hey, Lotto, we ain't trying to be a tour.
Did you know OD? Yeah, I knew O blew at me before. It was just a little situation where our blocks had a little animosity with each other over some shit that had nothing to do with them. They was actually aiding in the system, Front Street. DThang from my hood, and one of the guys from Front Street had a little issue over a female. And they was blowing at each other. It was like they was shooting at each other and they best friends was shooting at each other. Like, you know what I'm saying? They used to be folks from Front Street and his two besties and DThang from my block and Lil Boo and folks them, he ain't gonna say his name because he's still alive. They used to be going back and forth, you know what I'm saying? And then it turned into one of them things where it was a little issue and they end up getting into it one day with folks them and OBlock was with them. You know, he the type of nigga, ain't finna be no shooting if he ain't busting his gun. Like, so when shit started happening, he started busting his gun. Yeah, he was busting that bitch at us.
Of accusations that don't die when the man they were leveled at takes his last breath. Of validity arguments made in the middle of grief, on platforms that were never designed for grief, in front of audiences that were never meant to be judges. Of a digital battlefield where words became verdicts, and verdicts became sentences. Some handed down by courts with gavels and federal indictments, others handed down by the streets themselves with something far more permanent. This is what happens when the architecture of an alliance is built around one man, when that man is extraordinary enough to hold together things that should have already fallen apart, when that man is gone and everything he was quietly holding in place collapses at once. All the weight of all those years of accumulated tension landing in the same moment, on the same block, on the same people who were already trying to figure out how to survive his absence. We called him KingVon. And that title was not just a rap name. It was a political designation. It was a description of function. He was the king of a particular equilibrium. And when a king dies without a succession plan, when he dies suddenly, violently on the other side of the country, in the early hours of a Friday morning in Atlanta, the equilibrium he maintained doesn't transfer to someone else. It just evaporates. And what fills the space where the equilibrium used to be is the oldest force in the history of human conflict: chaos. But not the random kind, not the chaos of a storm or a flood, where nobody can be blamed and the only question is survival. This was a specific, deliberate, targeted kind of chaos, the kind that knows exactly who it wants to consume, the kind that had names attached to it, addresses, block affiliations, social media handles. The kind that could speak directly to you at 2 in the morning through a cell phone screen and tell you exactly what it thought about your loyalty, your manhood, your value as a soldier, your status as a real one, or a fraud. This is what the world is about to understand as we go deeper. Because the story of OBlock and 600 after KingVon's death is not simply a story about a beef between two sets. It is a study in what happens to an institution when its central figure is removed.
You cover the thing? Who you with?
Huh?
Who you with?
I ain't with nobody.
You lying. Why you covering the thing for there?
I'm with Mumu.
Oh yeah, what are y'all?
Shit, his ass just got in the shower.
My dress long as he under.
That shit short, boy. Yo, let chest ass, boy.
That's that big hole in that thing. I gotta stop back working now. What you watch? Let the folks know. Folks like Dage Loaf on that bitch. On what Durk look like Dage Loaf just came on?
Yeah.
I'm a bitch.
Hey, where you at? Where you at?
I'm gonna pop out.
Yeah. I'm gonna come slide tomorrow. I'll come out tomorrow.
Man, Mondays be dry as hell. Who the fuck is the
KingVon has 600 tattooed on him.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you elaborate on that a little bit? Like, why would KingVon get 600 tattooed on him?
Because he LA'd up and he's 600. You feel me? Like, bro, that's why I be telling niggas, like, when niggas be asking me about, like, they be like, man, you always talking about T-Roy and Von and Jake Money. Like, was you OBlock? Like, bro, at one point in time, like, the real members folk, like, we was, like, hanging every day. Like, OBlock and 600 was them that the same thing.
It is a study in the psychology of grief when grief is weaponized. It is a study in the evolution of street politics in the age of social media, where everything is recorded, everything is amplified, and nothing is ever private anymore. And it is the story of specific men. Men who had real relationships with real history. Men who had bled together, laughed together, been in jail together, made music together, made money together. Men who, when the cameras weren't rolling and the social media wasn't watching, had something real between them. Something that the world never fully saw because the world only ever gets the highlight reel, the public version, the carefully curated presentation of what an alliance looks like. What the world doesn't see is the infrastructure, the negotiations that happen in back rooms, the concessions that are made, the grudges that are quietly buried, not resolved, just buried, because someone with enough authority told everybody that today was not the day. The deals between men who didn't fully trust each other, but trusted the man who trusted both of them. When Von died, all of that infrastructure died with him. And what you're about to see is what the rubble looks like. To peep the rubble, you gotta know the build. OBlock and 600 ain't start as buddies. They started beefing. Like most alliances that last in street politics, it came out the fire first. Opposition so hot, it forged something real once the smoke cooled.
OD? Yeah, I knew O blew at me before. It was just a little situation where our blocks had a little animosity with each other over some shit that had nothing to do with them. They was actually aiding in the system, Front Street. DThang from my hood, and one of the guys from Front Street had a little issue over a female. And they was blowing at each other. It was like they was shooting at each other and they best friends was shooting at each other. Like, you know what I'm saying? It used to be folks from Front Street and his two besties and DThang from my block and Lil Boo and folks them. I ain't gonna say his name because he's still alive. They used to be going back and forth. You know what I'm saying? And then it turned into one of them things where it was a little issue and they end up getting into it one day with folks them and OBlock was with them. You know, he the type of nigga for ain't finna be no shooting if he ain't busting his gun. Like, so when shit started happening, he started busting his gun. And he was busting that bitch at us.
Run it back to day one. Parkway Gardens was bricks and rules. Who posted where, who owed who crossed lines. Early OBlock versus 600 wasn't theory, it was turf talk. Corners, favors, violations. The block got memory. It don't forget nothing. Here's what the pavement remembers. The builders chose it. They did the math. Outside ops heavier than inside egos. Unity was the only real play. That decision wore a name. T. Roy. Trevon Gardner, T. Roy, was one of the foundational figures of OBlock. One of the men who made the block what it was before the music, before the cameras, before the world started paying attention. He was the kind of presence that doesn't need to announce itself, because the block already knows. He was the older head whose word carried weight, because his actions had earned that weight over years.
Mimo, one of the more popular names out of Chicago is T. Roy. You know, did you know T. Roy?
Of course I knew Troy on Steve. I wouldn't be Mimo 600 if I didn't know who that was.
You know, do you have any stories or, you know, what was your thoughts on T. Roy, you know, and what was it like growing up with him?
That little motherfucker was short as f***, and if you play with him, he'll make you feel like he was tall. That's all I can say.
And T. Roy understood something that a lot of men in his position never figure out, that the biggest threat to a set is not always the set across the street. Sometimes the biggest threat is the inability to see past old beef when the world has changed around you. T. Roy saw that, and his presence, his authority, his reputation, his sheer force of will, helped hold the space open for a relationship between OBlock and 600 that probably shouldn't have worked. A relationship that required constant maintenance, constant negotiation, constant work. And he was one of the men doing that work. When T. Roy died, the first crack appeared. It was not a visible crack. Not yet. The block mourned, and the alliance held, and life continued in the way that life in Parkway Gardens always continues, with one eye on the door and one eye on whoever's standing next to you. But the crack was there, a structural weakness that hadn't yet been tested. And then came KingVon. Davon Daquan Bennett was not born on OBlock. He was not a native son of Parkway Gardens. He came to the block the way many people come to the places that ultimately define them. He came because the block was where his people were. He came because of relationships, because of proximity, because of the particular gravitational pull that a block like OBlock exerts on certain kinds of men. And when he got there, something happened that nobody could have predicted. A young man from another block, a young man with a gift for storytelling, a gift for translating the language of the streets into something the whole world could understand, became the most important person on a block that was not originally his own, became more than a member of the alliance, became the alliance itself, became the thing that OBlock and 600 pointed to when they wanted to explain what they were about, what they stood for, what they had built together. KingVon was the proof of concept. He was what you got when two blocks came together instead of fighting each other. He was the living, breathing, rapping argument for why the alliance made sense. And he was smart enough, politically intelligent enough, to know that his position required him to be more than just a rapper. It required him to be a diplomat, a negotiator, a man who could walk into a room with OBlock on one side and 600 on the other, and make both sides feel seen, valued, respected. He did that, every day, in ways that the public never fully witnessed. As Tay600 said in an interview with Source. Think about what that means. Think about what it means when one person is performing that function for an entire alliance. When one person is the thermostat that keeps the temperature from getting too high. When one person is the circuit breaker that prevents the current from overwhelming the system. What happens when that person is gone? The temperature rises. The circuit breaks. Everything the thermostat was quietly holding in check, everything it was preventing from boiling over, starts to boil over all at once. And this is not a metaphor. This is what actually happened. November 6, 2020. The date is carved into the memory of everyone who was connected to that world. The date that everything changed. The date that the alliance lost its thermostat and the system started running hot.
Yo, you sit down. You can sit ass over here. You can sit ass over here. Yo, you better watch out. Hey, brother. This is my brother, bro. Okay. Hey, come on, chill. Come with me, okay? Okay. And I'm on scene. Where you at? I'm right. I'm in the parking lot. Bro, white shirt. Where you go?
926.
Listen up, everybody. You, get out the car. Out the car. Get your ass out the car.
He's shot.
Okay.
Calm down, he's shot.
Okay. Get out the car.
I
gotta go to the hospital, my leg.
Yeah, we gonna get you to the hospital. You ain't going nowhere.
My foot is fucking broke.
Okay.
Get in the car, get in the car.
You stay right there.
We need to leave.
Y'all okay? Y'all look okay?
You ain't going nowhere.
Calm down.
I saw him shooting.
Please pull off, y'all. I gotta go, bro.
Oh my God.
We got several people shot. We got 4. We need 4. What up, bro?
We can't go.
What up? Where you shot at?
Y'all need to help him.
What's that? It's your leg and your back?
You gonna take him to the hospital, man?
Yeah, I'm gonna let you take him to the hospital. Get your ID out, man. We're gonna figure out who you are.
Bro, just can we go to the hospital, bro?
Nah, get your ID. Get your ID out.
Please, bro, can I just go to the hospital, bro?
The details of the night are documented. Von was in Atlanta. He had just released his debut studio album, Welcome to OBlock, 1 week prior. He was at a time in his career where everything was aligning. The music was connecting on a global level, the audience was growing, the story he had been telling for years about his block and his people and his life was finally reaching the scale it deserved. He was 26 years old and on the edge of something enormous. And then, in the parking lot of a club called Monaco Hookah Lounge, on a November morning when the city of Atlanta was already moving toward dawn, KingVon was shot. He was transported to a hospital. He died later that morning. He was 26. The news traveled the way terrible news travels in the age of social media. Instantly, mercilessly, without the buffer of time that previous generations had when they received devastating information. People woke up to it on their phones. They saw it on Twitter while they were still in bed. The grief that hit was immediate and physical and overwhelming. But grief is not just grief when you are a member of a street organization. Grief, in that context, carries additional weight. Grief, in that context, immediately becomes political. Because the people who are grieving are not just grieving as individuals. They are grieving as members of a structure. And the first question that structure asks, even before the grief is finished processing, is not, what are we going to feel? The first question the structure asks is, what are we going to do? And that question, in this particular context, carried a specific meaning. Lil Timothy Leaks, had been involved in the altercation. He had been shot as well. He survived. The circumstances of exactly what happened in that parking lot, who drew first, who escalated, what the sequence of events actually was, became the subject of intense debate and analysis and argument across the internet for months and years afterward. But the street interpretation of what happened was simpler and more immediate. KingVon was dead, and the people who were with him when he died, and the people who were associated with his enemies, were going to be accountable for that. That was the expectation. That was the demand. And the demand was not quiet, and it was not private, and it was not communicated through channels that gave anyone time to process or think. It was loud. It was public. It was put on social media within hours of Von's death. It came from people who were in genuine grief.
T.O. 63rd. I thought we coming. I'm coming up.
You know, we on 64.
We got most of this bitch.
Hey, we on 64 with this shit.
I don't get your man, your teeth shining like a motherfucker on this bitch. Hold on, get your teeth in that bitch. Damn!
Y'all niggas steal some shit from me. Y'all 64. Y'all stealing ass niggas. Y'all niggas steal some shit. I'm saying though, they got 63rd niggas, some dirty ass niggas, man. Y'all niggas talking about, I'm talking about, hey listen though man, the nigga on 64, but y'all 63rd niggas over there smoking crack and shit. Group of people coming.
I'm about to let these people walk past me. I'm not about to try to go through these people or nothing like that. So I'm letting this group come by. Next thing you know, a nigga hit me. You feel me? Boom, bam. Man, like, I lie to you not, man. I lie to you not. Like, it's like I had an out-of-body experience. Bet right at the end of the day, man, I ain't gonna lie. That man got kids and a mama that I know 100% love him. And at the end of the day, bro, all this bull that we talking about is stupid. That could have been handled a totally different way. It could have been handled to the point where a song and $3-4 million could have came out or whatever. Like that. It could have got handled in a legit way, in a music way, also in a boss way. Even though I didn't know that a lot of it was like it was.
You even before this, that nobody ain't never even know. The nigga, while we in the fucking party, I FaceTime Durk because I'm so proud of how he got the party rocking. Smirk on the phone. He can't even hear it. He just seeing it. I give him the phone. He on, oh, bitch, we turn. Ooh. Usually, bro, this shit so crazy, bro. Me and Durk talked about this, bro. I tried to hang up. Durk like, hell no, don't hang up. Usually, but all right, yeah, I'm go. He didn't want to hang up the phone. That shit was like his goodbye.
You mean Von ain't want to hang up?
No, Smirk ain't want to hang up.
Oh, he was just, okay, got you.
He, man, let me see.
Now, you just said if you was there with Von, this is my question I'm gonna ask. You said you would have died with him, right? So this is my question I gotta ask that kind of makes sense what you just said. Now, we all saw the video, what happened to Von. Now, Wooski brother, Big Mike, he was recently on an interview, OBlock Big Mike, and he said if he was with Von, he would have, he wouldn't have had FaultCrime around him. He said he would have held Von back, and then him and Von, they would have had to get into it they self. And he was like, he would have prevented Von from doing that. And he was like, also with that all being said, he believed that Von would listen to him. You know what I'm saying at that moment, but he said if he wouldn't, like he said, they would have had to just get into it. They would have had to fight. He said he said the dudes.
Yeah, I feel like if Zoo or me was there, that shit would have never happened.
Okay.
It would have never happened. The people that was actually there at that moment, you know what I'm saying? Or like motherfucker, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that wouldn't have happened. Cause bro was still on house arrest. I was like, dude, you gonna go to jail, like, go on. Or we'll fuck him up.
And that's the best what Big Mike was saying. He grabbed him like, nah, we have to get into it. We ain't gonna let you throw your life away like that.
Yeah.
Now.
And people who were performing grief and people who were using grief as cover for old agendas. It came from all directions simultaneously, and it created a pressure, an almost unbearable pressure, on everyone who had ever claimed to be part of OBlock or 600 or the Alliance. a pressure to respond, to act, to demonstrate, publicly, visibly, verifiably, that they were the right kind of person, that their grief was the real kind, that their loyalty was the kind that came with action attached to it. This is where the story gets complicated, because the men being pressured to respond were human beings with their own circumstances, their own legal situations, their own survival calculations, human beings who were not just members of a street organization, but also brothers, fathers, friends, people with real lives that extended beyond the block.
Yeah, man. So yeah, that was big in the city, man. You know, they shut it down, man. Potentially a lot of lives was saved because man, OTF and OTF fans and yeah, I could see personally that shit could have went either kind of way, man.
Yeah, it could have either went good or bad. Just like they canceled the second show in Atlanta, not because the OTF were our movement. That got on stage, performed that song and diss Atlanta niggas. He dissed Gucci, he dissed 21 Savage, he dissed a lot of. What if they come and retaliate and it look like OTF did it? Like, you know? OTF ain't nothing but a rap group, gang. And for them ain't doing all that extra shit y'all thinking, like, you know?
Man, you know, you was close with KingVon. You know, what do you think one of the singles biggest misperceptions people have about KingVon in general?
The bully shit. Folks ain't no bully, gang. He a real genuine. He just stand for what he believe in. Von is a real genuine. He was a real genuine gang. All that bully shit, he praying on hell no. Folks is a real kind-hearted nigga, gang. He loved his girl. Y'all saw that. I don't give They claim that lady was doing 1,000. He still love that lady. Not saying Asian or Bob. I fuck with Asian. That's my sister, my real heart. I love Asian to all the death, gang. She a Bob. Hell no. Folks still love her, gang. I love her to death. Asian, she just had a child. Shout out her. Congratulations to Asian doll on stage. But
do it again. Man, who was that?
like on stage, we not moving loose like that, gang.
What you boy? Ain't no loose. Fuck them. Stop playing. Yeah.
Who want to feature? Who want to feature? Who we talking about want to feature?
Yo, dead ass.
All my kids, man. Y'all not
go dig your partner.
We getting into
we ain't doing that. We ain't coming on this bitch.
Man. That's Disney.
Hey, don't remove it 10.
They dumb as shit.
I know, bitch ass nigga.
We ain't removing shit.
You said fucked up, nigga. You wait for some else, nigga. We stepped on Vun.
You ain't do shit. Fuck
my brother. Y'all as police.
Fuck you talking about police ass.
You don't even know that man was shrimp.
Shut your bitch ass.
Man, y'all want to motherfucker pick a side.
Ain't no side to pick. Side, y'all hoes.
Keep that shit neat. Get y'all lame bitches on, man.
Fuck you talking about hoe ass niggas.
Y'all want to motherfucker pick a side on Clubhouse.
Nigga.
You's a hoe.
We ain't gotta do that. Look, y'all loose as hell. Slow down, gang. Y'all look like some hoes, gang. Y'all doing that shit. Y'all loud. That's all I'm saying. What he just said. All that other shit, y'all too loud, loose.
Man, real gangsters don't even get on here and do that.
Yeah, y'all loose as hell.
It don't matter, man. We stepped on for this public
gang.
Who is we? It's always some weak shit and some kids,
Hey, Mimo.
Bullshit. He dead.
Niggas take credit for other niggas' work.
He dead.
No, man, let him talk, man. Let him talk to himself.
Let him talk.
Yeah, shut up. Let him talk to himself.
No, these niggas so bullshit. Fuck OTL. Cause that nigga
look at him. That's some fucking fan that they got rejected a long time ago.
Bad bitches on here, though. Y'all
tweaking. Look like it's electrocute. Shut your ass.
There's a lot of little bad bitches on
Chicago talking like that.
Keep sucking that bitch, man.
I ain't telling nigga. Watch I swear, nigga ain't standing on no business. Say, listen, when nigga catch me, boy, nigga stop the fuck out you.
Y'all for this shit.
Why your homie so loud? They loud as hell.
I'm saying, nigga, keep on removing a nigga.
Cause you country as hell, loud as hell, fam. What you so loud for? Country ass, goofy ass.
Hey,
what had happened though? I ain't heard nothing.
They chasing that
They
shit,
mad at you cause you kicking it. You was neutral. You don't have nothing.
Big Lex bodega. Chopped cheese, half hour. This bitch is my favorite. And these fries could have. I ain't bet this shit out. You know how this coming. I can smell it. Check it out. Hold them good. You know that's basically on here 3 times. It's so good. That's that shit, shorty.
What? Let him to Jones.
Memo 600 and Ben 10 beefing after the Young Boy concert got canceled in Chicago. Memo 600 went down to Baton Rouge with shoppers looking for 4K Trey affiliates, supposedly, as you see his Instagram posts. Ben 10 said he just arrived to BR and want Memo 2 link up here is when
It was another viral moment, man, because Ben 10, he's been going viral a lot because we had the whole situation with Memo, where he was allegedly looking for Memo 600 all throughout Baton Rouge. Now, what did you think about that when that happened?
Nigga fishing, we call that fishing. You know, just fishing. Just a little fishing. You know, I can't speak on this dude was actually down there. I don't know.
Now, we don't know for a fact that Memo 600 was down in Baton Rouge, but he did put it out there like he was, and Ben 10 immediately jumped to action and was like, hey, man, I'll be right down there, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I seen it. I think they was in New Orleans, though. He was in that city.
Yeah, I think so. I think he came out and he corrected it and said he wasn't there. I guess he was just trolling.
Yeah, well, I say that's what you call fishing.
Nah, I get you. Now, I'm gonna go somewhere totally different with this one. Now, did you see the No Limit Cash Money versus battle?
No, I ain't see it. I just seen some
This really go for all the people who watch our culture and be trying to call Chicago niggas bitches for all the shooting we doing and not. Y'all clearly seen folks was putting hands on that nigga, beating the fuck out of him. Like, beating his ass. Von a skinny nigga. He really put hands on him and you see what happened. So I just want everybody to look at this shit and understand Chicago's point of view from the culture. My first time ever getting shot at, it was from breaking a nigga jaw. Niggas coming to my school every day trying to kill me over fist fights. My
bitch ass nigga, like you in Baton Rouge. Bitch ass nigga, you ain't them saying internet shit, man. They got niggas really like that out here, my nigga. All that clown ass nigga want some fucking clout off the internet, my nigga. All that pussy ass shit, man. Come on, man. Bitch ass nigga fall in my DM, man. Nigga ain't never fall in my DM. Nigga ain't never play with me like that, man. Don't play with me with that pussy ass little rap games you got going on, dick. I'm a real street nigga, dick. I'm out here every day, dick. I ain't on that rapper shit, bitch. I know you on my live right now. I just seen you join this bitch, you hear me? Man, I'm like that. I'm telling you where I'm at right now, my nigga. Matter of fact, I'm about to follow your DM. Man, what's that address? They got it. Man, find the address of this bitch, man.
New Alpacas gas or what? You heard me?
Nigga on phone. Yeah, all them pussy ass niggas in. Yeah, we smoking on that pack, man.
You know all night trying to slime shit. You know all night trying to slime shit. New Alpacas gas or what?
Hey, look though. Y'all stop doing this internet shit, man. We ain't got on the internet and threatened nobody and said we was gonna do shit to nobody. Niggas wanna be funny, we being funny too. We make subliminals, they make subliminals. This shit cute to us, it's funny. Like, it's funny, we ain't got up here and said we was gonna do this, do that, ooh. I just so happened to be somewhere and niggas jumped in their feelings. That just showed niggas hands. That's it, niggas showing their hand.
People who understood, even through the fog of grief, that the action being demanded of them was the kind of action that ended in a casket or a federal prison cell. And the internet didn't care about any of that. The internet had a verdict. The verdict was simple. You either moved or you didn't. And if you didn't, then the question of why you didn't, the question of whether your reasons were legitimate or whether your reasons were actually fear or calculation or something worse, became the central question. The question that defined you. This is the environment that Memo 600 and Munna Duke stepped into. This is the landscape they had to navigate. And they navigated it very differently. Memo 600, Stephen Mandel, was not from OBlock. He was from 600. A distinction that matters because it shaped how he experienced the pressure of that moment. He was a 600 member who had cultivated a close relationship with KingVon over the years. A relationship that was visible and documented in music, in interviews, in the way they moved together publicly. Memo 600 had made his name in part through his association with Von, through the credibility that came from being in that orbit. But he was 600. And in the aftermath of Von's death, the question of what it meant to be 600, and how that related to OBlock's expectations in this moment, was not a simple question with a simple answer. The alliance had always operated with a certain understanding of what each side owed the other. But owing and expectations are two things that can look very different depending on which side of the relationship you're standing on. And in the immediate, raw, grief-saturated hours and days after Von's death, the accounting was being done by people who were not in a frame of mind to be generous or nuanced or fair. The accounting was being done by people who were hurting. And people who are hurting tend to add things up in the way that confirms their existing suspicions. What was alleged, what became the dominant narrative on social media, on Clubhouse, in the streets, was that Memo 600 had not done enough. That he had been visible in the wrong ways and invisible in the right ones. That he had maintained a social media presence when he should have gone underground. That he had been in certain places, done certain things, said certain things, or hadn't done certain things, hadn't said certain things, that suggested his loyalty was less than it should have been. Munna Duke had his own complicated relationship to all of this. Rashawn Vance, Munna Duke, was an OBlock figure. A man who had been at Parkway Gardens long enough to have real roots there. Long enough to have earned a position that gave him a voice in how block politics were conducted. And in the aftermath of KingVon's death, that voice became very loud.
Do you think that the problems with 600 and OBlock would be going on right now if he was still alive?
I wouldn't really call them problems. It just, I don't know, and yeah, I think they'll be going on just because it was going on when folks was here to a degree. You know what I'm saying? So I always been a little confused, you know what I'm saying? But I feel like now it just go along with the, like I was saying, click shit earlier. You know what I'm saying? Like clicks of who with who. Cause like just cause it'll be the whole hoods will be tweaking with each other. Certain niggas out the groups are still like, man, that's my brother. You know what I'm saying? That's my brother. I love him, and I love him. I wouldn't do none of them. I wouldn't never get into it with them. But maybe him and him, they do goofy shit. I can't be around them. I'll do something to them. That's how it is, bro. On BDS, like a lot of motherfuckers it ain't full-fledged beef or war. I wouldn't even talk about no shit like that. But when I just see it be animosity, niggas fucking with certain niggas, or a nigga that hopped in a nigga bitch DM, he was bogus. You know what I'm saying? Or something like that. It be little shit going on, little politicking, weird, messy, little Wendy Williams teacup ass shit, folk. So a lot of times, that's how a lot of motherfuckers end up not fucking with each other, bro. On BD, it be shit like that where a motherfucker just feel like, I don't fuck with him, he try to talk to my BM, or I don't fuck with him, he supposed to stole a pipe from my brother, or I don't, little shit like that. And it just end up building with motherfuckers in that little circle. But it be certain niggas, like I talk to OBlock niggas all the time, bro. On BD, like, I talk to Wick City niggas all the time, because they're the ones that's still around, that's originals, for they know, like, I'm one of them for real. Like, I'm one of them ones from that way, for like, I done got in them cars when niggas for OBlock died. Like, them my brothers, folks. So it's like, with that shit with Roy, that's why he remember them nights we was on my block. You know what I'm saying? He was out there with us.
Now, one thing that I don't think gets talked about enough is your music.
Yeah.
It has some issues on the internet not too long ago. Memo tells Munna Duke he's putting belt to ass when he catch him.
He ain't never put a belt to ass in no motherfucker day in his life. I don't really take people like that serious, man. You gotta know him, man. You know what I'm saying? Motherfucker like me that been around, I know every motherfucker. And a motherfucker like him, I can't take serious. You know what I'm saying? He can't step a foot on my block. He will never step a foot on my block.
Mimo used to be really cool right there because I think he shot at least one video there before, right?
Yeah, that was before a lot of shit transpired. You get what I'm saying? So at once upon a time, he was able to come over there. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of shit changed. So
you said something on Instagram. You said, "Be direct when you speak. Don't do the subliminal post. You know me personally. Let's meet up so I can beat the F out of you."
Yeah, I kind of just want to beat his ass. I ain't want to. You know what I'm saying?
You can't even come over there. Over where? On my. On house? On house?
He smelled the
Man,
weed.
nah, just recruited him a couple years ago too on stage, nigga.
No, bitch ass. You don't even be outside, man.
Fuck you talking about? Hey, y'all drop that new nigga. I'm not arguing with no new niggas, folks. I told y'all I treat and check any motherfucker. His ass new. You know, boy. Yo ass with the missing tools from AMG, whatever the fuck they call themselves over there.
Police is four-way, man.
Mac Block. Mac Block.
Hey, who the fuck is this on here?
Why y'all drop one of y'all members?
Hey, who is this on here?
He ain't no member. That's who you DM earlier.
Hey, you hear me?
All right, you said what you said earlier. We ain't got to talk.
Hey,
I wouldn't give a fuck if you merged on JoJo.
Listen, man.
You said what you said earlier, gang.
You know what the fuck I do, you know what I'm saying? So you better stop playing. You personally, you know what I'm saying?
Hey, dude.
You, Mimo, you.
Y'all recruit goofies got them playing with me. What the fuck wrong with y'all?
I told you that personally anyway.
You police? Police,
Yeah,
gang. You police
all
on here.
right. I'm talking to you though. You personally, just you. Ain't no motherfucker else got nothing to do. I'm talking to you.
Don't kick me. Hey, I talked to you. I talked to you earlier. I told you earlier that ass man, dude. You can stop that on this Clubhouse
Stop
shit.
name dropping, man. We ain't doing all that. We ain't doing all that.
Hey, hey, Mr. Tooth, I ain't talking to you. I'm talking to OBlock members.
That's why you keep dropping me, you gay bitch ass nigga.
I'm dropping you because you not from the O. You want to phone them whack homies on stage.
I got V's on my shit, dumbass.
I ain't talking to you, gang. You the police, boy. And I just heard.
On my shit, dumbass.
I just heard you was the feds. Why you yelling shit like that anyway? No, folks, them. Yeah, listen to phone them in the background.
He muted up after that one.
On Lusty, that shit on all blog sites, nigga. They talking about his ass. Gleese, nigga. Y'all know what the fuck y'all know.
I don't know shit. I'm
I thought that shit that was on gang hit.
On Lusty, nigga. But everybody acting like they ain't see that. So this how lame ass song, man. I hate that I be telling facts on stage.
Hey, that boy Mimo a motherfucker, boy.
No, I just know the
you
truth.
Just like me, folks.
I know the truth, nigga. On Lil Steve, that's all. They want to go get they big homies on Steve. Like they want to get their ass treated too. I don't fuck with nobody over there but E-Dog on LA, boy. Well, box cool. Folks ain't got shit to do with now.
I'm trying to see who you talking about.
I say your ass from Houston, boy, for sure.
Man, I'm trying to see. You can't even come over there.
Over where?
On my shit.
On Houston?
Another guy we've been hearing a lot about, man, from the OTF camp that we've heard shouted out in so many records. And look, KingVon shouted him out. Lil Durk shouted him out. A guy by the name of Booney Mo, man. Now, Booney Mo ended up getting arrested and sentenced to 7 to 15 years for attempted possession with intent to sell or distribute. He's still in Chicago and ask you about another situation that happened recently, right? So there's a 600 member by the name of Dammo who ended up getting buried this past weekend. You had 600 Breezy out there. You had a lot of people from 600 out there at the funeral. There was a whole bunch of videos going viral. Did you know 600 Dammo? And if so, what were your reaction to this news?
Nah, I go over Dammo. He from around the land. He used to be in Caveman building all the time. Me and brother hung out plenty of times. Like, yeah, that was my boy. But Yeah, I mean, the situation, I ain't talked to him in so long. Like, I really ain't seen him since the last time I was locked up. But that situation that show you just feel like, cause you was never really hearing bro name in the streets. Like, you was never really hearing his name.
Never.
Yeah, cause it's like he was one of those laid back. He always in the cut. You know what I'm saying? He just wants some money. And then it show you still that as long as you still game baiting, you still in that same environment, the same thing gonna end up out. You either gonna die or you gonna go to jail.
That's the big message from these situations, it seems, right?
It is. This is you gonna die, you gonna go to jail. You gotta remove yourself from those situations so you won't even be around it no more. So you won't even be put in it no more. Like, Dammo name wasn't even out there. Like people, everybody knew who he was, but his name wasn't out there like that. Like, he wasn't a person that just like a crash out like all these other dudes is. You know what I'm saying? Bro, he had a mind. You feel me? But it still just show you, like, just because you done calm down and you done, I ain't on this type of time no more. I'm doing this. I just want to make this money. Do this, do that. Hey, you trying to do something positive now. You still in the same place.
600 Breezy went online and he was responding to somebody in the comments of the post, the post on the blog about Dammo. And he basically said that Dammo, this is what he said. He said that 600 hadn't taken a loss since 2018 with Waldo, and that they really haven't lost anyone for real like this since 2011 through 2015. Other than that, they've been spanking, stuff in the streets and whatnot, and that Dammo was killed by a BD. You know what I mean? And that Ide was backdoor. So that was basically what he said. That was his response. Like, he's basically, because somebody, I guess, was trying to say that, y'all getting, is looking bad for y'all side out there, and he was just responding to that person. But basically, once he said that, it had a lot of people talking about, whoa, so Dammo ended up getting killed by a BD, basically based on what 600 Breezy said. And right now, we're starting to see a lot of that with the whole Bloodhound and them and a whole bunch of different things going on through in Chicago. Now, with you hearing that just now, what did you think?
Man, I don't know. He's saying you said this was 600 Breezy said? 600 Breezy said that.
Yeah, this was a comment to somebody. It was a response to somebody. You know what I mean? So I'm not sure if this is accurate, and maybe it could have been doctored, but a lot of people have taken it and ran with it. That basically he said that Dammo had got shot by a BD.
I don't know what he's talking about, but if that's true, then Dammo got backdoored. Then one of the guys is somebody that was 2-4 killed him. Then he got backdoored. For what? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know the accuracy of that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it's just with
either. Like, is that from Breezy real page?
Someone about my little brother, nigga.
Well, fuck your little brother. I don't get no
Nigga, fuck your brother, nigga. Fuck is you talking about, Goofy? That was not even 600. Fuck is you talking about on OD your ass? It's a GD from 100s. Goofy ass nigga.
Yeah, you knew.
That never did shit but claim.
I know your ass ain't been on 600 more than 10 years with your clown ass. Fuck
I don't love still you lying.
I've been out there more than you.
All right, I'm done, gang. I'm done arguing with you kids. On Lusty, come outside, gang.
Man, one year ain't sending shit out, nigga. You just said something about my little brother, nigga.
So I can request this. Remember this. Did you or did you not snitch? So what you do? Bro, I ain't do snitch. So what you do? Bro, I ain't do shit. I let them people know, boy. That ain't my shit, boy. Why y'all you trying to get it? I'm not trying to. I want to see, because I got to remember this, because I be getting hot, so I forget a lot of stuff. So I just sit on a police body camera getting that bag is his gun. That's just blow bag with the gun now. Did you not say that? Bro, we ain't respecting no rep. I got 20 years in there. If you snitch, nigga, you on that paperwork. Go check that. So did you or did you not say that? No. Go back to the body world camera right now. Go back to it. Because you just said that shit on the camera, man. About me though.
Hey, Box, man, what's too big for who I am, man? Box,
What you just said?
people's man.
Hey, what you just said about me though?
Who the fuck is me?
You know whoever you was just talking about.
Man, who the fuck is you?
I'm trying to see though whoever you was just talking about though.
Oh, that's Mr. Tooth.
I'm trying to see who you talking
Oh,
about
I
though.
say
Like,
your ass from Houston, boy, for sure.
man, I'm trying to see. You can't even come over there.
Over where?
On my shit.
On Houston? On Houston? Cause your ass is.
He talking about the
Man,
wig.
his ass is not. Just recruited him a couple years ago. Talking about his ass. Gleese, nigga. Y'all know what the fuck I know.
I don't know shit. I'm
I just about that shit that was on gang hit.
On Worcester, nigga. But everybody acting like they ain't see that. So get y'all lame ass on, man. Hey, cause who you think I was talking about on Listed? Where I shot the video at? Who you think I was talking about, nigga? The fuck?
Them steppers, huh?
And you wasn't in that video. All the steppers was in that bitch. What, you was in jail fighting the cases on? Oh, he must be going to. He must be going to get some more help. I told you if it ain't E-Dog, I don't want to talk. On phone number, he the only nigga he the only nigga can shut me up on my baby. I love him to death.
Hey, Mimo,
I don't know.
He been calling steppers on you.
He went to get some more help. Can't nobody shut me up but
What he
E.
call that first? A snitch and a bitch.
He went and got a snitch and a bitch on phone number.
Oh my god, y'all ass crazy.
And not a lot of one of them.
I hear you now. I believe that, gang. Y'all be needing that shit. Gang, there's a lot of shit going on.
And I'm saying you can't go on a lot of because folks will fish you.
Nigga Big Chuz about
I
some
don't want to give a fuck how I fish you.
Hey, stop saying my name, boy.
Duke was one of the figures who pushed hard on the validity question, who asked, publicly and without apology, where certain people were, what they were doing, why they weren't moving in the way the block expected them to move. But here's what makes this story so much more complex than the surface-level beef narrative. Duke himself was not beyond scrutiny. There were people, and the evidence for this is in court records, in trial testimony, in the documented proceedings of the FBG Duck murder case, who had their own questions about where lines were and weren't drawn. The alliance was not full of people whose records were spotless. It was full of people who had made their own choices in their own moments of pressure, and whose choices could be examined and questioned by the same standards they were applying to everyone else. This is the trap that validity politics creates. When you build a culture around the idea that a man must prove his loyalty through action, specifically through violent action, you create a standard that almost nobody can meet consistently across an entire lifetime under every circumstance. You create a standard that is designed to be used selectively, applied to the people you already don't like, invoked when it serves a particular agenda, and conveniently set aside when it doesn't. You create a weapon, and once a weapon exists, it gets used. Understand the geography of what happened next. Clubhouse, the social audio platform that had its moment of peak popularity in the early 2020s, became something it was never designed to be in the months following KingVon's death. It became a courtroom, a public square where men who would never sit across a table from each other could speak directly to each other in real time, in front of thousands of listeners. The rooms had names, the rooms had moderators, the rooms had pinned speakers and audience members and all the formal structure of a debate, except that the debate was about who had done what, and who owed what, and who was a real one and who wasn't. The debate was about loyalty and blood and the specific language of the streets, broadcast to a global audience that was listening with the same attention they gave to prestige television. And the things that were said in those rooms were not said and then forgotten. They were recorded. They were clipped. They were posted to Twitter, to Instagram, to YouTube. They were dissected and analyzed and commented on. They became evidence. Not in the legal sense, not yet for most of them, but in the street sense. Evidence that was used to build cases against people in the court of public opinion, which, in the particular world we're discussing, feeds directly back into the real world. This is what Tay600 described when he talked about the Clubhouse sessions. Tay600, Tavoris Hollins, had a position in all of this that was genuinely uncomfortable. He was a 600 member who had history with both sides of the alliance. He had been involved in some of the earliest incidents that preceded the alliance. He was the one who talked about his house being shot up, about the tensions with Euro 51, about the early days when the lines between OBlock and 600 were not lines of brotherhood, but lines of conflict. He had lived through the conversion of that conflict into an alliance. He understood, better than most people, how fragile that conversion was, how much work it had taken, how many compromises and concessions and buried grievances had gone into building something that looked, from the outside, like a natural unity. And now he was watching that work come undone. His account of the Clubhouse sessions, his description of what was said and who said it and what the energy in those rooms felt like, is one of the most revealing windows into what the post-Von landscape actually looked like. Because Tay600 is not a man who speaks carelessly. He is deliberate. He is measured. And when he describes the pressure that was being applied to Memo 600 and Duke in those Clubhouse rooms, he is not describing it as an outside observer. He is describing it as someone who understood the stakes from the inside.
I went, he knocked Duke out. Took his pipe. You want to show it in front of some hoes on old.
Munna Duke shot Memo 600. I guess it was a beef during the dice game. Munna Duke had to pull a blick out. You know, that kind of explains why Memo 600 been dissing Munna Duke ever since he died. He was going hard on Munna Duke. But remember, Munna Duke was going hard on Memo 600 for he passed away.
He ain't never put a belt to ass and no motherfucker day in his life. I don't really take people like that serious, man. You gotta know him, man. You know what I'm saying? Motherfucker like me that been around, that I know every motherfucker. And a motherfucker like him, I can't take serious.
News was finally confirmed. We heard the rumors that Munna Duke shot Memo 600, but Munna Duke never stamped this. Memo 600 never stamped this. It was once upon a time where they almost talked about this, but Memo 600 was like, that's police, that's police. And then Munna Duke was like, they don't gotta know what I'm talking about. But that's about it.
Hey, you hear me?
All right, you said what you said earlier. We ain't gotta talk. I won't give a fuck if you merch on JoJo.
Listen,
you said what you said earlier, gang.
You know what the fuck I do, you know what I'm saying? So you better stop playing. You
hey,
you know what I'm saying?
Hey, dude.
You, Memo, you.
Y'all recruit goofies, got them playing with me. What the fuck wrong with y'all?
I told you that person anyway.
You police? Police, gang. You police over here.
All right. I'm talking to you though. You personally, that's you. Ain't nobody else got nothing to do. I'm talking to you.
Don't kick me.
You know, 16 Shotter Visuals kind of stamped this. Hit the like button. Gold on this video with OBlock. Something happened. Munna Duke put that bang out and got the blowing and shit. Memo got shot. We all remember this when Memo got shot. It was a dice game. People thought people from No Limit did this. But in reality, it was actually Munna Duke who shot him. You know, this shit got so big that nobody really knew what happened. They was dissing each other subliminally on the internet. But you know, news came out that Munna Duke upped that pistol. You know, when 16 Shotter told this story, people from OBlock came in instantly, like Munna Ike. He was like, Cap, this false, this not real. You know, I guess these people don't want this on Munna Duke name now that he done passed away. People are already saying he a gang leader. He was a leader of OBlock. Now they saying he doing murders. You know, people want to keep his name clean. But unfortunately, he was the face out here, a fixture of the drill.
The pressure was not abstract. People were being called out by name, in front of thousands of listeners, being asked specific questions, being put in positions where they had to either say something that satisfied the crowd or be publicly branded as something that would follow them for the rest of their lives. Memo 600 was in that position. Duke was in that position. And neither of them handled it the same way. And neither of them, based on the accounts of the people who were in those rooms, said exactly what the crowd wanted to hear, which meant that the crowd drew its own conclusions. And the crowd's conclusions became the block's conclusions. And the block's conclusions became the new political reality of Parkway Gardens. Now let's talk about the chain, because the chain is not just a piece of jewelry. In the context we're discussing, a chain is a symbol. It is a declaration of allegiance, of membership, of identity. When you wear a set's chain, you are making a statement about who you are and where you stand. And when someone takes that chain, or when someone alleges that a chain was taken, the statement that action makes is equally clear. Memo 600 has spoken publicly about what happened with his 600 chain. In interviews, specifically in his conversation with Real Tune, which was widely circulated and viewed, he addressed the allegation that his chain was taken at OBlock. He reacted to the claim that Munna Duke had a role in banning him from OBlock. Think about what that allegation means. Here is a man, a 600 member, a man who had moved publicly with KingVon, a man whose career had been built in part around the credibility that came from his proximity to that world, being told that he was no longer welcome on a block he had visited freely for years, being told, implicitly or explicitly, that the chain representing his set's identity had been compromised, that his standing had been revoked. You cannot separate the chain from the context. You cannot understand why the chain mattered without understanding what it represented in that specific political moment. A chain is an object, but in the politics of the street, an object is never just an object. It is a message. And the message that the chain incident sent, the message that Memo being banned from the block sent, was that the accounting was being done, that there were consequences being assigned, and that Memo 600 was one of the people who had been found wanting. Memo has pushed back on this characterization. He has spoken about what he felt he did and did not do. He has addressed the narrative about his absence in the aftermath of Von's death. He has articulated, in multiple interviews across multiple years, the complexity of his position, the impossibility of meeting every expectation of every person while also managing his own survival, his own legal exposure, his own life circumstances. But the block was not interested in complexity. The block had already delivered its verdict. And this is one of the most important things to understand about the culture we're examining. When the verdict of the block is delivered, when the collective judgment of a set comes down on a member or an associate, it does not invite appeal. It does not leave room for nuance or context, or the specific facts of a specific situation. The verdict is the verdict, and the question of whether the verdict is just is secondary, almost irrelevant, to the question of what you do now that it's been handed down. Do you accept it? Do you fight it? Do you leave? Memo 600, by his own account, and by the account of the public record, found himself on a road that eventually led away from OTF and away from the alliance. He has been public about leaving OTF. He has addressed in interviews the question of whether he left or was pushed, and the answer is complicated in the way that most of the truth in this story is complicated. It's not a clean break. It's the kind of gradual departure that happens when the environment that once felt like home starts to feel like something else. He has talked about what signing to OTF did to his career, about the contractual realities of that situation, about the ways in which the music industry and the street world intersect in ways that are not always beneficial to the artist. And all of that is real, and all of that matters, but it exists alongside the block politics, the chain, the clubhouse rooms, the validity questions, and you can't fully understand one without the other. Tay 600 occupies a different position in this story. If Memo is the cautionary tale, the man whose exclusion from the inner circle became a case study in how validity politics works, then Tay is something more complicated. He is the man who chose to navigate the impossible terrain by being honest about it, by speaking publicly about things that most people in his position would have kept private. When Tay 600 talks about the relationship between OBlock and 600, when he goes through the history, the early beefs, the path to alliance, the way Von held things together, he is doing something that is rare in that world. He is speaking with the kind of historical specificity that most people in those conversations avoid, because specificity is dangerous. Specificity means accountability. Specificity means you are on record with a position that someone can hold you to. Tay chose specificity anyway, and what his account reveals, when you listen carefully, when you hear not just what he says, but what he's describing with the facts he chooses to include, is that the alliance between OBlock and 600 was always more complicated than the world understood. He described incidents that preceded the alliance, moments of genuine conflict between the two sides, moments where the path toward violence was the obvious path, the natural path, the path of least resistance. And he described the decision, made by specific people, with specific relationships and specific histories, to not take that path, to redirect, to negotiate, to try something harder and less intuitive than the obvious answer. He described KingVon's role in that navigation. And when he talked about what happened after Von died, when he described the pressure being applied on Clubhouse, the conversations happening in real time about Memo and Duke, he described it with the specific kind of discomfort of someone who sees exactly what is happening and understands exactly why it is happening and is not entirely sure how to feel about either of those things. Because Tay600 understood the grief that was fueling the pressure. He shared that grief. He lost something real when Von died. Not just a political asset, not just a structural component of an alliance, but a person, a real human being who had been in his life in a real way. And he also understood that grief was being weaponized. That the valid, genuine, appropriate grief of the block was being channeled into a project of accountability that was, in certain respects, less about actually accounting for Von's death, and more about resolving older tensions that had been waiting for an opportunity to resurface. He understood both things simultaneously. And that understanding, that ability to see the complexity of the moment even while being inside it, is what makes Tay600's account so valuable and so rare. He eventually made his own decisions about where he stood, about which relationships he was going to maintain, and which he was going to let go.
A situation where our blocks had a little animosity with each other over some shit that had nothing to do with them. They was actually aiding and assisting Front Street. DThang from my hood, and one of the guys from Front Street had a little issue over a female. And they was blowing at each other. It was like they was shooting at each other and they best friends was shooting at each other. Like, you know what I'm saying? It used to be folks from Front Street and his two besties and DThang from my block and Lil Boo and folks them. I ain't gonna say his name because he's still alive. They used to be going back and forth. You know what I'm saying? And then it turned into one of them things where it was a little issue and they end up getting into it one day with folks them and OBlock was with them. You know, he the type of nigga for ain't finna be no shooting if he ain't busting his gun. Like, so when shit started happening, he started busting his gun. And he was busting that bitch at us.
About how he was going to navigate the political terrain of post-Von Chicago without becoming either a casualty of the internal warfare or a participant in it. Those decisions were not universally applauded. Nothing in this story is universally applauded, but they were his decisions. Made by a man who was trying to survive, not just physically, but morally, relationally, as a person who had to live with his own choices. In a world that demanded certainty and simplicity, Tay600 insisted on existing in the complexity. FBG Butta entered the narrative differently. Marcus Jones, FBG Butta, came at this story from the other direction. He was a 600 member whose relationship to the OBlock politics was shaped by his own specific experiences, his own specific grievances, his own specific perspective on what the alliance had been and what it had become. His account of the peace treaty, of the negotiations that happened around the relationship between 600 and the Front Street Boys, with DThang as a central figure, is one of the most revealing pieces of testimony in the entire video. Because Butta is not a man who edits himself for public consumption. He is the kind of person who says exactly what he experienced, exactly as he experienced it, with the kind of emotional directness that is either extremely valuable or extremely dangerous depending on your perspective. What he described about DThang, about the specific incident at the attempted peace meeting, about the behavior that disrupted negotiations, about the way certain people conduct themselves in environments that require a different kind of discipline, added texture to the story of the alliance that the public version rarely includes. Because the public version of the OBlock and 600 alliance is a story of brotherhood, of two blocks that chose unity over conflict, of a relationship that produced KingVon and all of the music and culture and energy that came with him. That version is true. But it is not the whole truth. The whole truth includes the arguments, the near misses, the times when someone's behavior almost destroyed something that a lot of people were working hard to build. The times when the alliance survived not because everyone involved was disciplined and patient and politically intelligent, but because someone with enough authority intervened at exactly the right moment and prevented the irreparable from happening. DThang, Demetrius Flannery Jr., Lil Durk's brother, was one of the figures whose death also added weight to an already heavy situation. When DThang was killed in June 2021, it was another loss layered onto a block that was still processing Von's death. Another absence in a constellation of absences. Another void in a structure that was already dealing with multiple simultaneous structural failures. FBG Young offered the counter-narrative. His skepticism, his insistence that not everything is as serious as people make it, that stories get exaggerated, that the public version of these events is often inflated, provided important friction. Important pushback against the tendency to mythologize every conflict, to invest every incident with cosmic significance, to see the hand of destiny in what are sometimes just the messy, inconclusive, unglamorous facts of real life. FBG Young's skepticism did not diminish the reality of what happened, but it complicated it. And complication, in this context, is necessary. Because the worst thing you can do with a story this serious is flatten it into a simple narrative. The simple narrative always lies. The truth is always more complicated than the simple narrative. And Lil Mikey, another voice in the account, added his own layer. His own experience of moving through this world and trying to understand what was real and what was performance and what was somewhere in between. Taken together, these voices create something important. A portrait of an alliance that was never as clean or as unified as its public image suggested, navigated by human beings who were trying to make sense of their own lives in real time, without the benefit of hindsight or distance. Now we need to talk about what the court saw, because the story of OBlock after KingVon's death does not happen in isolation from the federal government. And the federal government, through the United States Attorney's Office for the Northern District of Illinois, VO, shot archival exterior of Dirksen Federal Courthouse, winter light, slow push-in on seal, dead. The federal gaze sharpened. In January 2024, a jury returned Ariso convictions in the FBG Duck case. According to court records, testimony mapped an internal picture of OBlock, roles, routines, routes of communication, context, not conclusion. In those filings, Rachon, Munna Duke, Vance appeared as an alleged leader. Alleged, not adjudicated here. Gap 1's VO, shot, overhead Chicago aerial at dawn. Grid of streets, traffic like capillaries. The microscope didn't drift away. It settled in. Courtrooms became repositories for what the streets once kept quiet, and the city learned to read transcripts like weather. VO, shot abstract social media UI. Floating comments, waveforms, notification pings dissolving into a blur. After Von, validity politics scaled. Clubhouse rooms framed like tribunals. Twitter threads like exhibits. Accusations performed for audiences that never had to live with the consequences. The permanence of clips outlasted the truth of context. Outside voices magnified inside stakes. Gap 1's VO, shot split screen, empty studio mic. Phone screen, scrolling timelines freeze on alleged, where were you? Performance met reality, and performance won the algorithm. The verdicts stuck even when the facts didn't. VO, shot, newspaper montage, bolded, superseding indictment, Novi 2024. Pages turned beneath a lamp. Then, escalation rippled. In November 2024, prosecutors filed a superseding federal indictment alleging a murder-for-hire conspiracy, tied, they say, to failures of retribution. Allegations, not proof. Presumption of innocence stands. The process is ongoing. Gap 1's VO. Shot slow crossfade to vacant basketball court inside a windy courtyard. Chain link rattles. Each filing added gravity. Each rumor added heat. VO. Shot Jarrow City mural. Then tight on a candle stub. Phone screen shows comments from Jarrow Lil Mikey timeline. Jarrow Lil Mikey entered and re-entered the frame. The perpetual renegotiation, where grief is sometimes an outlet and sometimes a cover. Gap 1's VO. Shot. Abstract scale tipped by hashtags on one side, sealed court folders on the other. Validity politics promised clarity and delivered distortion. It rewarded performance, created permanent records, invited uninvested participants, and left cumulative harm that outlived any win. VO. Shot. Thermostat on a peeling apartment wall, needle drifting upward. Cut to empty studio booth with Von's poster in soft focus. Von had been the stabilizer, the thermostat. He could walk both rooms and cool them. No successor carried bilateral trust. After him, the needle drifted, then jumped. Gap 1's VO. Shot podcast set B-roll, contract stack, waveform graphic of a measured voice. By 2023, Memo 600's separation arc was public. Interviews turned into a double bind. Speak and be judged, stay silent and be judged. He stated his reasons, put his perspective on the record. Von wouldn't want this became a claim people carried like a credential, not a fact anyone could certify. VO. Shot alleyway daylight, a lone bike rolls past, Instagram post headlines flash, Trigga speaks, responds. A micro beef with 600 Trigga mirrored the macro fracture. Validity standards turned inward. The alliance consumed its own bandwidth. The economic redirection Von was building, studio time over street time, lost momentum. Gap 1's VO. Shot Edgewater night exterior, May 10, 2025. Wide streetlights, squad cars blues reflecting off wet asphalt. No bodies shown. Then the cost. Reports describe a targeted burst, at least 50 shots, Edgewater. Rach on, Munna Duke, Vance and Daryl, Youngin firm Dayets Givens killed. Human beings, not headlines. A grief post from DThang's former partner surfaced. Grief that didn't need a camera but found one anyway. VO. Shot. Close on phone in trembling hands. Candles flaring, then guttering. The spectacle tried to swallow the sorrow. The sorrow tried to breathe anyway. Gap 1's VO. Shot memoir-like desktop old photos. A 600 chain in a drawer. A folded statement. Posthumously, Memo's stance on Duke hardened. Code over personal record. He held it. Isolation deepened. Positions have consequences even when they are convictions. VO. Shot train passing. Window reflections of young faces. A text thread left on typing. Then nothing. There were indications Duke was weighing another path. Patterns of exit often get intercepted. Institutional memory was lost with him. The kind you can't subpoena and can't replace. Gap 1's VO. Shot. Empty studio room, calendar flipped to 26, framed photo of Youngin beside a microphone. Youngin was 26. Compressed lifespans turned promise into statistic. Public mourning surged. Private processing stalled under a siren that never really shuts off. VO. Shot slow aerial pullback from Parkway Gardens to the full South Side grid. Overlays of play counts, headlines, dollar signs, redactions. Zoom out. A model that eats itself. Identity through conflict. Loyalty through violence. Fame that feeds the community but also exposes it. Visibility is the price of change and the risk that prevents it. Indict the system that demands blood for belonging, not the people surviving inside it. Gap 1's VO. Shot. Empty folding chair in a room lit by a single bulb. Thermostat needle quivers. Silence sits heavy. What would KingVon have said? The silence is its own answer and its own responsibility. Gap 2s.